People seem to believe Microsoft is a sort of prophet for Call of Duty, but they in fact seem to be more of a false prophet than anything else. In the world of gaming, there exists a legacy that stretches back over a decade, a legacy forged in the heat of battle, defined by unforgettable characters and groundbreaking innovations. This legacy, fellas, is Call of Duty. From the moment Modern Warfare burst onto the scene in 2007, introducing us Captain Price and game-changing features like creator class and kill streaks, the gaming landscape was forever changed. World at War plunged us into a harrowing World War II campaign and delivered a multiplayer experience that went far beyond a mere rehash of Modern Warfare, with unforgettable tank gameplay. And then there were zombies. What started as a passion project soon became a juggernaut, evolving from the eerie confines of Nukta and Toten to the grandeur of DRX. Modern Warfare 2 continued the adrenaline-filled momentum, even as it sparked controversies.
You get to essentially be a terrorist and kill people.
Black Ops 1 raised the bar with its gripping campaign, memorable missions, and mind-bending twists. Multiplayer became the battleground of legends, introducing powerful weapons and iconic maps, while zombies evolved into something truly special, with maps like 5 and Moon. But as time passed, as key creators departed, we witnessed a gradual transformation. Modern Warfare 3 may have delivered a solid campaign and end to the trilogy, but it relied on reused set pieces, and the colour palette took a major hit. But multiplayer did introduce us to new killstreak packages to keep things fresh, along with party modes like Drop Zone and Infected. And then came the 8th generation of consoles, marking the end of Call of Duty's golden era. Today we dive into the heart of the matter. I question, with the franchise's sales still strong, does COD truly need saving in the eyes of Microsoft, as many players seem to believe it does? Do Microsoft even hold the keys to its salvation, or are we just chasing a false prophet? Picture this, a new era of gaming dawns with the arrival of powerful consoles capable of mind-blowing graphical feats. Gamers were excited, expecting that beloved Call of Duty franchise to ascend to new heights. But something went seriously wrong. You see, these advanced consoles brought with them a hefty price tag for game development. With the cost skyrocketing, developers faced a daunting financial risk, especially when games stayed stubbornly fixed at $60. So what was the solution? Accessibility. Remember the days when COD maps were a diverse playground of strategic possibilities? They weren't just sterile 3-lane battlegrounds. They were rich with gimmicks, power positions, and those delightful surprises like the card on Summit. Yet, as a franchise aged, that innovative map design began to fade, replaced by a more homogeneous, competitive landscape. Take for instance, Modern Warfare 2, where Quarry felt worlds apart from Wasteland, Terminal, or Estate. But fast forward to Black Ops 3, and those maps seem to blur into one another, tuned for hyper-competitive play. Why did this transformation happen? Esports entered the scene, raking in a staggering $110 million annually for publishers, and amazing ad potential. You see, competitive gaming thrives on hyperbalance, something us couch people aren't that big of a fan of. And that meant developers had to eliminate power positions and height advantages. All those fun elements that once defined COD's charm? Should Microsoft steer COD back to its golden era map design, they'll risk alienating that esports crowd, and in turn, damaging profits. Zombies was once a surprising addition of this franchise. It was a simple mode, fostering its own community in a safe place away from quickscopers. But something happened to it that the mode did not expect. It was picked up by the most greediest guy, Bobby Kotick. Over the years, the uniqueness of the mode slowly stripped away. It lost its soul, it lost its personality. It was once only in the Black Ops games, World at War, Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2, and that was it. Then it was in Advanced Warfare, World War 2, Infinite Warfare, as well as in Black Ops 3, Black Ops 4, Black Ops Cold War. Just too many titles for this once relaxing game mode. Now in Black Ops Cold War, where is the personality? No unique characters? The HUD is way too messy. There is so much text popping up on the screen. What happened? It is clear, zombies became a zombie. No one can revive this once classic mode. Skill-based matchmaking, or SBMM, is a design element as old as Call of Duty itself, but one that's become a point of contention. In recent times, it's been dialed up to 11 in a bid to retain players, because SBMM reportedly boosts player retention, translating into an increase in bundle sales, and predictably, record-breaking years for Activision. Why then would Microsoft want to revert this successful element? Well, from a player's perspective, Call of Duty isn't your typical SBMM-friendly game. It's a power fantasy playground where kill streaks rule supreme. When matches are meticulously balanced for skill and playtime, everyone ends up with a kill-death ratio of 1. The outcome? No one gets those exhilarating kill streaks. Unlike games like Hell Let Loose, Battlefield, or Super Smash Bros., where SBM is actually essential for fun matches, Call of Duty thrives on the chaos of unbalanced power. That's where its charm lies. But if dialing back the mechanic results in a decline in revenue, Microsoft would never allow it. No sane executive would. In 2019, with Modern Warfare, COD started embracing a live service model. This led to games becoming increasingly monetized, with bundles and their connection to Warzone taking center stage. Ironically, it's now easier to buy a bundle than it is to actually log into a game, let alone enjoy the game. That speaks volumes about the financial landscape of the franchise. It's actually quite hilarious, especially if you are an executive over at those companies. Call of Duty's success story hinges on creativity and pushing technological boundaries. The question is, can Microsoft rekindle that spark within the franchise's 3 main studios, Treyarch, Infinity Ward, and Sledgehammer Games? Let's look at Microsoft's track record. While Halo stands as its flagship franchise, some argue it's taken a recent hit, yet its latest entry did make over $6 billion. Still, beyond Halo, there's a notable absence of in-house IPs. In stark contrast, Sony's PlayStation division churns out some solid IPs and games, like Ratchet & Clank, God of War, and Ghost of Tsushima. Different settings, different experience, so why the belief that Microsoft holds the creative torch or welcomes the financial risk that creativity demands? As they seem to be in the business of purchasing IPs at the moment, not crafting them. Is Microsoft's newfound gaming hype a byproduct of the console war movement? It's perplexing how non-shareholders passionately invest their personalities in a corporation's success. Yet, such passion breeds infatuation, turning Microsoft into this sort of idealized savior. That infatuation is recently seen in Starfield's release. Consider this. Microsoft took the initiative to fix matchmaking in old Call of Duty titles. Why, you ask? A little cost-benefit analysis reveals why. It's a cost-effective move, requiring no new assets, just a little bit of code tweaking. The payoff? Priceless marketing goodwill. With Microsoft's recent $7 billion acquisition, player uncertainty was high. A simple, effective fix reassures them about Microsoft's future with the IP, all thanks to Xbox's backwards compatibility. Why didn't Activision do something similar like that before? Well, what would they gain? Sure, there's goodwill, but nothing substantial enough to alter public perception. Activision wasn't entering a new era. All it would do is divert players from their current revenue-generating products. But let's be clear, Microsoft's motivations weren't driven by internet petitions or vocal outcries. Without the need to secure public opinion, that fix wouldn't have happened. Finally, let's remember that both Microsoft and Activision are corporations beholden to shareholders. They have the same public company structure. In plain terms, public companies must prioritize shareholders' interests. It's not a negative at all, it's just reality. Gamers need to adjust their expectations accordingly. Microsoft pays shareholders 27% of its profits, whereas Activision paid 18%. So if you find post-launch content lacking, brace yourself, it's bound to get leaner. More of those profits will flow to shareholders, not back into the game you are playing, the game you thought Microsoft would miraculously rescue. While many hope Microsoft will save Call of Duty, the franchise's consistent sales suggest it might not even need saving in Microsoft's eyes. The gaming community often complains about annual releases, but continues to support them. Microsoft's corporate interest aligns with these revenue-generating practices, making significant changes unlikely. Gamers should understand this reality within the gaming industry. What do you all think? Is Microsoft truly the savior of COD?